Mike's at the ready.
All right. All right. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Girlfriends Happy Hour.
Yes.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
We saved a seat at the bar here in the podcast lounge for you.
Scooch over and you can sit right down.
Yeah, so last week we were talking about we started talking about scary things, which we didn't get into it other than like the breast cancer story, which is a terrifying that's a scary thing.
Honestly.
Not the kind of scary thing we were originally going to
This
talk
would be
about.
more like more fun scary
Yes.
instead of, oh my gosh, scary.
But we did have the Red Devil drink, so that was part
good.
with the theme. This is kind of part 2 here, and we do have a new drink. Melanie, could you tell us about this new scary drink that we have here?
Absolutely. Oh, shoot. I didn't come up with a super fancy name for it, but we're drinking Bloody Marys.
Bloody Marys is scary enough.
That's good.
I'm just
you know
gonna,
what?
yeah,
that
that
is good
name
when you're
in
talking
itself.
scary
Yes.
stuff.
I did do it a little bit different. I used my organic spicy veggie juice, tomato juice, and I blended it with some peri peri sauce. It's like an extra hot sauce, and I ordered it online, and I don't know. I saw a
saw
recipe.
those sauces over there. They sound really good.
Yes,
I got kinds.
I got a combo pack of sauces. So I'd use the medium hot for ours.
Okay.
Because I already had the spicy veggie juice. Blended it together with some lemon, fresh squeezed lemon. Whenever I say lemon juice, it means it's fresh squeezed or lime.
Of
Always.
Of course. And we all like spicy, so I threw in a spicy pickle. I have vodka infused cherry tomatoes. Actually, they're grape tomatoes.
Oh my
So
word.
they've been soaking in vodka.
You go all out. I will give you major
Holy
props for
cow.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Well, if you're gonna make a cocktail, make a cocktail. Make it right.
Listen, I'm not complaining.
I've got this kind of spicy lemon lime Bloody Mary salt on the rim. I added in, what else did I add in? Oh, some of my Wildtree lemon pepper seasoning and just some little seasonings here and there, and I blended it in the blender, and now we've poured it over ice with the salt rim. So
They look beautiful. It's like a meal in a cup there.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Yummy.
So since Ashley, you haven't had dinner, there you go. There's your dinner.
Here's
Lord.
my dinner.
Good Lord, girl.
All right, Monica, here's yours.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Okay. And as always, I will put the recipe on our podcast sites here.
She makes really good drinks. You should really check them out. They're very good.
I like this.
Is it spicy?
I know I'm
swallowed.
Is it spicier than the Red Devil drink?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Because that was spicy.
Yeah, that had little jalapeno pieces
Yes,
in
that
it. I almost added some jalapeno pieces in this one too, but I thought, well, I'll just
This
go.
one's spicy, but I like this. This one's
Good.
good.
Yeah, this sauce, I've never tried it before. I don't know why. I just came across a recipe where it said put peri peri sauce. I'm like, okay, click. Amazon one-click ordering is
Isn't that Amazon is the best?
It's dangerous, though.
I know.
So dangerous.
It's like Amazon anticipates what I'm going to need, and then when I need it, it's right there. Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah. They're like, oh, if you like this, you'll like that. And I'm like, yes, I do like that.
I like that.
As a matter of
Amazon.
fact.
It's
I
amazing.
am ordering that. Click, 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 especially late at night. Oh, speaking of that too, I have my Kindle hooked up to my Amazon, whatever. So a few weeks ago, Ashley, you talked about how you caught up on it by listening Audible. And
Yes.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I added Audible. That doesn't have anything to do with my Kindle, I guess.
It can.
It's kind of all works together. So I downloaded Audible, and I have been listening to it and catching up. And I told you guys before that I read that. I can't even count how many times growing up.
It's funny because last time we talked about this, I wanted to say that I had the original, like, paperback cover. Like, it was for my dad. Like, I got a lot of Stephen King hand-me-down books from my dad. Mm-hmm. And I had the original that's what I read when I read it in, I think, 10th grade. And it was falling apart. I mean, there was, like, nothing holding it together. I mean, it was from, I want to say the book was the book written in the early 80s? Does that sound about right? I can't remember.
If not earlier, yeah.
if not earlier. But yeah, so I was reading this and it was falling apart, but I refused to get a different copy because I was so into the nostalgia aspect of the fact that this is the same book that my dad read when he was younger. And that's also, we had talked about earlier, that's probably your favorite book. That is also my favorite book from Stephen King and possibly all time, just because it had such an impact. Yes. I remember
I never read the book.
When I finished reading it, I cried. I remember I came down, my dad was laughing, but I came down, I was upstairs as I was a big bookworm when I was, just all growing up. And I came downstairs, I was probably about 15 or so, and I came downstairs for dinner. My mom had called me for dinner, and I just finished reading it, and I came down and I just cried because of the ending. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't read it, because it didn't really touch on it in the miniseries. It didn't touch on it, and in the new film, it's only part 1. But the ending is so sad to me for some reason that I remember just bawling at dinner, and my dad kind of laughed well, I guess you finished reading it, huh?
So was your mom offended? What don't you like about my cooking?
Yeah, because my mom never, she didn't read that book, so she didn't have any idea about why I was sad, but I was like, it's just so poignant and I can't even explain it, because it's supposed to be a scary book, but I sobbed.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
It's mostly about friendship, and if that's a huge deal.
How do you like it on Audible, though?
You had mentioned
What's
it was
his name?
Stephen Weber.
Thank you.
Yes.
I couldn't think of his name, and I was thinking Stephen, but I didn't know his name.
Stephen Weber, and I just think of him from Wings way back when.
But he also did the TV version of The Shining. He was in that.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that's It all clicking.
But he
every
does...
now and then I can think of something boom, and it comes out.
Right. Every once in a while. Well, I'm listening to it, and he does the voices, and he does everything.
Everybody's voices. He does a great job, and there's a lot of characters in that book, and he tries to.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he has his own Pennywise voice, which is so.
That's cool.
You have to. And Monica, you've seen the new It film, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
I really give a lot of credit to Bill Skarsgård, because that's a hard role. I understand that the original film was a miniseries.
Yes.
So everybody's saying this is a remake. It's not necessarily a remake, because it's a feature-length film and it's based more on the book.
Yeah.
But with
and
that
we only
said,
saw the first half, then there's the second half, and it was so well done.
But with that said, everybody still will compare the Pennywise performance, especially to Tim Curry, because they're just well, nobody can be better than Tim Curry. But I really liked Bill Skarsgård's performance. I think he did a really great job.
He was good.
And he was different. He was different than him. He was. It was less goofy.
Yes. He really made it his own, and it was.
Yeah.
It was horrifying.
More disturbing and terrifying than just kind of goofy.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, some of his faces. And I did read this article that he has this condition where he can make his eyes go in different directions. Like, how people can cross their eyes.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But he can make his eyes kind of just float around he can just make him go do whatever he wants. And so he did that multiple times. If you watch, which I do want to watch the film again to just kind of see. Well,
now I have to, to pay
but
attention to that.
Apparently he would that was a big part of his audition, and he could just do that in multiple scenes. You can just see his eyes kind of floating, and that's not any sort of special effect. It's just Bill Skarsgård doing that to his eyes, which is really creepy.
Here.
Oh, they just float around his face.
I can't wait to see. You have to. I was gonna go see it just the other day, and I couldn't. I rescheduled something else. But yeah, you're right. It was from 1986.
Okay. Yep.
And my original copy is like yours. It fell all apart, so I got a new copy, and it's 1,152 pages.
Wow.
It took me a really long time to read it.
That's like War and Peace.
Well, I'd much rather read it, though.
I think that'd be, a little more enjoyable.
That's more my style.
A little more fun.
But yeah, mine was probably an original. I
remember the cover. I remember what it looked like.
Yes.
It had the green claw. It had this green monster claw.
Yeah, spooky. One thing I noticed is, wow, it's really racist.
Well, and and it takes place in the 50s, and then it goes to the 80s.
Yeah,
and the film goes from the 80s, starts in the 80s, and then the part 2 will be present time.
Yeah.
So he made it more modern day, I think, for that reason.
Right.
But because I think I did read this article that like a lot of the things that in the book that take place in the 50s, like that the kids were afraid of, like the wolf man, like the werewolf, like nobody's really afraid of that anymore. So they kind of switched up what that kid would be afraid of now.
Yeah.
So, and the mummy, like the mummy is not really scary. Like we wouldn't really think that's scary.
No.
Now. So they switched it up.
Yeah. Just fun things.
So I
to
like
watch.
stuff like that. I
The
think that's
eyeball
kind of
thing was
interesting.
gross. That's the one. Was that Richie who was scared of the big squishy eyeball?
I don't remember. That instantly made me think of Poltergeist, but it's not the same thing.
Which is your
That is my favorite scary movie.
all-time
Is it
favorite
really?
scary movie?
Poltergeist, yep. And not for the fact that it actually scares me, just for the, I don't know, I think it's just well made. Like, I think the actors in it, I mean, they're great. Like, I like Jo Beth Williams and Craig Nelson, and then Carol Ann Freeling is played by what's her name?
I can't think of her name.
She passed away when she was really, really young.
Well,
Right, yeah.
behind the scenes on that
Yeah.
one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like that
Poltergeist
movie was
Curse.
Yes.
Yes. Now
Because
that's
the girl who played
crazy.
her older sister, Dominic
Dunn.
Yeah, Dunn.
Yep.
His daughter was murdered.
Murdered
Oh,
by her boyfriend.
Yep.
And then Heather O'Rourke. That's the name.
That's
of
it. Yep. That's
Heather
her
O'Rourke.
name.
She
That
passed
is
away
her
when she
name.
was 12 due to bowel obstruction.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, weren't there even more on that?
The man who played the Native American in the second one died of cancer, as well. I think cancer, as well as the old man who played the evil guy in the second one. There's just a bunch of random deaths, and they contribute it to the fact that they used real skeletons for the pool scene in the first movie.
Oh, that's horrifying.
So the scene where Jo Beth Williams falls into the pool
Yes.
during like the climax of the movie,
Yes.
and there's a bunch of dead bodies in there.
Ugh.
They apparently used real dead bodies, real skeletons.
Shut up.
Not killing. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god.
So they kind of contribute that fact that things have happened negatively after that.
You know,
due to
because
that
she
fact.
was screaming scared out of her mind, and now it kind of makes sense.
I
That
would
wasn't
not
good
be happy.
acting. She was just scared out of her fucking mind.
Yeah. I love
Yikes.
reading about those behind the scenes, and I think I talked about this before, but that when you find out that an actor ad-libbed something
Yeah.
or they kept something. Oh, isn't it The Exorcist, where she actually
Broke her back.
broke her back?
So Linda Blair still has issues today from this scene where she's being flipped back and forth in the bed.
Yes.
And then same as who played her mother? I'm going to forget her name.
Ellen
Burstyn. Also, when she was flung
God, I'm
back.
on fire tonight.
You are on fire. But Ellen Burstyn, when she was flung back into the armoire, she broke her back, I believe. She actually fractured
Yes.
something.
Yeah,
And
I
that
heard of a
scream
lot of
was
strange things happening on that.
You know,
set.
it's funny that you say that, bring that up, because today I just started listening to a new podcast called Inside the Exorcist. There's only 2 episodes, but it's a man who is just trying to get to the bottom of it. So he starts from the where it started from was the little boy in 1949, where the story was based off of, that William Peter Blatty actually wrote the story from this actual account of this boy from 1949. So it kind of goes in between what this boy was going through, how William Peter Blatty wrote the script, and then how William Friedkin directed it. So it's these 3 intertwining stories about how Exorcist was made, real story, real accounts, and then just, it's all behind the scenes stuff. So if you like behind the scenes and scary, check it out. And it creeped me out. I was showering this morning listening to it, and the intro creeped me out. So listen to it. It's good for Halloween time.
What's it called? Behind the scenes?
Inside The Exorcist.
Inside the Okay. All right.
Yep.
We're going to check that one out.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah, I listened to that one.
I love the behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
Crazy, especially the curse, the curse of the poltergeist.
I
and
know,
all
especially
that.
when you see a movie, you love it, and then all of a sudden it's oh, that was going on. It's amazing. Some of it's mind blowing.
So some of the other things. So I started to say how Amazon Prime do one click. it downloads straight to my Kindle. And so the past week or so, I've just been like looking up any kind of paranormal, scary stories and just click to my Kindle. So I can't wait to really dive into some of those. And I'd love, at some point we're going to start sharing some of the scary stories. I love those.
Those are fun.
And we can talk about those and some real true crime. Hey, if you guys have a true crime or something cool that happened, hey, we never introduced ourselves. Welcome to Girlfriend's Happy Hour.
Hi, I'm Monica.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Melanie.
We did we?
Oh, well,
We just
eventually
start
they'll
rambling.
get to know our voices.
Well, if this is their first time listening, they're like, what
That's
the
true.
hell is going on with
How
this podcast?
rude is that? They didn't introduce themselves.
What are they even talking about? So yeah, we talk about all kinds of things on Girlfriend's Happy Hour.
Clearly.
Back to scary movies.
Yes.
One of the scariest movies that I remember watching it when I was really young. Damien.
Oh, The Omen.
The Omen.
Yes.
Yes. And I think it was the first one when he was trying to get, what was it, his brother or his best friend to be along with him. And the kid said, no, da, da, da. And then you see him floating under the ice and he can't get out. And
No, that's the Good Son. Is that the Good Son? Is that The Omen?
isn't it The Omen?
I thought it was The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin and a young.
Because I don't know that one.
Oh, that sounds really. Because The Omen.
We need correction help again.
We do need.
Dang it.
But The Omen is like from the 60s with Gregory Peck.
Yes.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
I don't remember the ice. I can't think of the ice. You might be right though.
I like to think I am. But
I like to think
always likes to think
I like
she's
to
right.
always
because
think
I
am.
always think of.
I'm usually always wrong.
I always think of The Omen, that like scene with the babysitter where she like is at like at the top of the house and she's like, "It's all for you,
Yeah.
Damien.
Damien,
It's all for you."
he's
And
like,
she just
okay, whatever.
and she just like hangs herself. Ooh.
Yes. So the nasty, gory, slashery, like Saw kind of gross stuff.
I like
I'm
those.
not a big fan of that. The supernatural, the occult, the
Demonic.
demonic, that stuff is beyond scary to me. That just the psychological ones like say Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
I really like those too.
Ooh, I love Silence of the Lambs.
That was
Oh
good.
my gosh, that one was so good.
Put the dog in the basket. I saw that movie when I was close to 9 months pregnant, and I kept telling my husband, I'm going to have that baby tonight. I'm so scared. I'm going to have that baby tonight.
It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
That was
Buffalo Bill.
creepy. Yep.
He's
Doctor.
mirrored after different serial killers as well. Yep.
Creepy.
Have you seen Get Out?
Yes.
Have you, Melanie, seen Get Out?
Have I seen it
Jordan
with you?
Peele? No, just in general. Have you seen the film?
Well, what I'm saying is, have I seen it with you? Then I probably haven't seen it.
No, you haven't then. It's recent.
It's one of those
came
ones
out.
I did want to see. It's on my list.
It was really good.
I'm lame.
It's a
I'm just always- I never make
fantastic movie.
time.
Yeah.
I know. I do. That's like one thing I make time for is film.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to see everything.
That is a good one.
That's a really good film, and it's psychological and just very it's just very relevant for our times as far as like as a country what we go
Yes.
through and stuff, and it's a good commentary on our culture. I love that
Yeah,
movie.
it was in the plot twist and
and from Jordan Peele of all people who
Yeah.
does comedy,
know.
and he like created this awesome script and directed this wonderful film. Yeah, it's
was
very
very
good.
cool.
Everyone should watch that one.
Well, we should make a list of must-see films, and we can, put that on our Instagram.
It's not a bad
or
idea.
on our Facebook or something like that.
highly recommended by.
Okay, so I'm just looking up on Reddit. So
I
what's
love
the
Reddit.
movie with a boy trapped under the ice? And we've got some comments. Someone says you're looking for Rust and Bone. There's a scene similar to this in Omen 2.
Omen 2. That's why I haven't seen Omen 2. I was like, it does sound like. You've never seen The Good Child with
No.
Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood when they were like babies? Have you never seen that either?
I'm sorry. No.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
that's such a
That's one
good movie.
I can't believe you haven't seen this movie. Monica and I talked about that when we were talking about the podcast. We're
I know.
like, because it's so funny. You talk to someone, you're like, What? I cannot believe
I
you've
know.
never seen this movie.
Oh, and there's so many that people like. For me, I have never seen Casablanca.
I have actually seen Casablanca and Gone with the Wind. I made it a
Oh,
point.
Gone with the Wind's my favorite.
I made it a point to see both those movies just as I was like getting
Yeah.
into film. I was like, you know what? And my sister and I actually think we watched Gone with the Wind together.
Well, my name is Melanie.
Melanie.
Miss Melanie. Yeah. So, and I've never.
And I wear
There's so
curtains.
many. I've never. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Never seen it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Never seen it. Oh my. You know what? Because then it gets to the point where everybody's like, "Well, you've just got to go see it," and then I'm like, "No, I don't.
You know what? Fuck you. I don't wanna.
Yeah, I don't want to see it." And now it's like, "Dang it."
I haven't seen. Well, I still, and I think that's. I don't know if I've made it a point to not see this film, but the Wayne's World movies. And I knew Melanie was gonna laugh, but
I love Wayne.
I mean, it's been 10 years going where she would like quote it when I first met her. I was a youngin' and she was like quoting Wayne's World. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't get it.
And then now I'm 10 years older and I'm still like, you know what? I still haven't watched it.
I don't care.
I just haven't.
One of my favorite scenes is at Wayne's house in the kitchen where there's a bulletin board and all his name tags and hairnets are. Back in the day when he had a hairnet job.
Right. Well, that's the thing with Ashley. I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna watch Wayne's World with me, and then what was it? I was gonna
Armageddon. Is that it or no? I do.
Armageddon.
That's what it was. Is that Def Leppard song?
Yes.
I had mentioned Armageddon and you started singing it and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You're like, what the?
And you're like, it's a
wrong?
Def Leppard song, and I was like, I'm talking about the film, and I don't know what Def Leppard song you're
It's so
referring
cute,
to. And
too.
now I do. But
Have you noticed we say movies and because she's in the business, she calls it a film.
A film.
We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, go to the movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
movie. No, it's a
She's
film.
so fancy.
sometimes
Wow, you're my hero.
only. Oh, geez. No, you're my hero.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know what. So, I mean, it's Halloween time now. I mean,
Yes.
it's middle of October.
Did you see? You said you saw the Annabelle movie.
Yeah, the new one, Annabelle Creation or Annabelle 2. I've seen it
Yes.
advertised different ways. I think this one. So it's within the Conjuring film series,
which I love.
so Conjuring
Yeah.
1 and Conjuring 2, both very good movies.
Yes.
The first Annabelle, I didn't love it.
Right.
It wasn't great. But this Annabelle 2 or Annabelle Creation, I think it was better. I think it was better than the original Annabelle, and it leads perfectly into the Annabelle movie. So if you've seen that,
Right.
it's a great like segue.
Okay.
Didn't we see Annabelle together?
I think we did.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we.
I
Went
think
with a
we
little
did.
group and.
But yeah, it was great. The kid actors in that were good. The two like lead girls were really good. And it had some genuinely creepy moments in it. And Anthony LaPaglia,
Yes. Hey, good job on that name.
he plays the father. I like him just in general, so I thought I just like him.
Interesting.
So
Okay. and
he's all right
because
in this.
When I was at the theater the last time, the new scary film coming out that I want to see is Snowman.
I do want to see that as well. That has what's his face?
I don't know. It just looks scary to me.
Yeah.
Let's make a film about something that so makes you, remember your childhood fondly and you have nothing but great memories of it. Let's do a snowman and make him murder people.
Make him murder people.
Isn't that a Tim Allen movie?
There's Jack Frost with Gary Sinise, right? Or no?
No,
No,
Michael
Jack
Keaton.
Frost was.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
No, I'm thinking. Yeah, what was it? Yeah, was that Jack Frost? Okay.
Jack Frost. That is silly now that you think
know,
about it.
Jack Frost.
But yeah, I've seen that preview. I did watch this film. This is a great movie. It's not it's more of a psychological kind of thriller. It's called Wind River. And it has the same man that's in The Snowman, which I can't think of his name. Oh, I'm blanking on it.
You know what? Netflix is such a good source for movies like that.
This
Have
one
you seen
is
Hush?
not- Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
one.
because I watched Gerald's Game, which
Oh,
is
I
a
haven't
Stephen
seen that
King,
one yet. My
which
daughter
is a Stephen
did.
King movie, which I did not read the book on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, I did read the book on it, but it's been so long that I couldn't remember any of it until
Yeah.
I started watching the film. That's what it was.
That one's a creepy psychological.
And I
thing.
watched that one, and it's the same director who directed Hush, and that's a very hard book to adapt into a film because it's all in her mind. So it's like, how do you do that? How do you make it make sense in a film when everything takes place in her brain? But he did a really great job. It's creepy. Nate jumped a lot. I jumped a lot. It was creepy.
I read that book. That book was so it's a psychological thing. You know, you're just, it was creepy. It was. She was all in her own mind.
Carly Gugino. I don't know how to say her last name. Carla Gugino.
Sure, why not?
I hope that's not
whatever her name is.
That one.
She's really great in it. She does a really good job.
I didn't know that was a movie.
Jeremy Renner is that's who I'm talking about. Jeremy Renner and the only good Olsen sister, Elizabeth Olsen, who's a good actress.
She is a good actress.
She's a really great actress. She's in this Wind River movie that I was referring to earlier, and it takes place on a Native American reservation.
Now I know the one you're talking about.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It got me deep. It's everything about it is really atmospheric. Like it's reminds me a little bit of like The Revenant, as far as like that, like it's so cold in the film that you just like can feel it in your soul how cold it is. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't know if you saw The Revenant, but good movie, psychological kind of thriller, murder mystery, that type of thing. And Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen were really good in
I will have to check that one out.
And it has like a bunch of actors from all the Native Americans from Twilight.
Oh, really?
So all like Jacob's clan, like we were kind of joking about it the whole time because it was like his dad and like there was just a bunch of like Twilight actors in it because they all played like Native American roles. Because they had nothing
else going on after Twilight.
Yeah, I guess not. So they all played the Native American roles, but they did a great job.
I'm not a Twilight fan,
but it was a good time.
Yeah.
So let's make a list of all these cool movies that we need to see, and we'll follow up and talk about them a little bit more. I'm actually going to a haunted attraction this weekend. I cannot wait. My friend runs it. It's his second year, and the first year scared the crap out of me, and it was awesome, and it was creepy.
A house, a hayride, or a cornfield?
It's a house. It's a big building house. It's an industrial building. He's an amazing artist. The detail is incredible. It's called Awaken Haunted Attraction. It's here in Michigan, in Leslie, and it's just. And I found out last night they have a podcast. I didn't realize it. I was just bombing around. I'm like, awesome. Oh, you have a podcast. So I started listening to that, and I'm just really excited to go see what new things he has in store this weekend. He's got the original Michael Myers who's going to be there signing autographs.
Ooh,
yeah,
the original
Michael
actor?
Myers.
If he's in the mask in the work suit, I don't think I could even go near him.
Well, you're coming with me. I'm going to drag you. Drag you both.
Good luck.
So, well, you guys, thanks so much. Thanks for joining us for Girlfriends Happy Hour. Please tweet us at, I forget what it is, Girlfriends Happy Hour.
Pretty much, yeah.
We'll
GF
put it in.
Happy Hour Pod, I think.
That's
You'll
it.
find us. Find us
and
on Facebook.
If you've got good movies that we haven't mentioned, let us know.
Oh, absolutely.
We love scary
they'll
movies.
go see them, and then I'll go, no, I still haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
I will go see them, and then they will. No,
And then
just kidding.
Right.
Okay.
Well, definitely hit the iTunes store or wherever you watch podcasts or listen to podcasts, and download, rate, review, subscribe. We really appreciate it. It's so fun to watch the behind the scenes and see how how many people are listening and downloading our podcast.
Absolutely.
We're getting more and more girlfriends joining us.
I know, that's so fun.
So we will see you guys next time.
Okay.
And thanks so much.
Thank
Happy
you.
Halloween.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.